Hello and welcome to the RMI Advantage video training series. Today we will discuss the internal rental and internal sales customers. Your service department performs many different types of work. They can perform customer work that's billable to your customer, but they can also perform internal work that you do for other departments. For example, they can prep equipment for sales, or they can perform any routine maintenance or service on their rental assets or anything in their rental fleet. It's important to account for your internal transactions correctly for the internal departments. This gives the service department the credit that they deserve for the work that they performed, but you also don't want to account for any dollar amount in your receivables because it's an internal customer, so you don't want to bill them. In today's video, I will go over the appropriate setups that you'll need in order to process your internal customer transactions correctly by not having a dollar amount on their receivables and also accounting for the work that the service department performed. We'll start first by taking a look at the customer card for our internal rentals customer. With an Advantage, I'll go to Service and then go up to Contract Management and then down to Customers. And here we have our customer card. It's our regular customer card that we have for everyone else, except this is for our internal rentals customer. The first field that I want to call your attention to is the balance field. The balance should remain 0 at all times because this is internal work. We're not billing our other departments for it. We just want to account for the work that the service department performed for those other departments. So your balance should always be 0. The next important setup to have would be under our dimensions, and I'll come down to my customer card and go to my dimensions. Here you can see that for my customer type, I have a dimension of internal customer. This gives me the ability to look at the transactions in our general ledger that are posted and break them down by the internal dimension. The next field that we're going to take a look at is our invoice discounts. So I'll come down to my sales button and go to invoice discounts. Now in this window is where we set up our invoice discounts at the header level. So what that means is by setting up a discount here, it will apply to the entire transaction. Also, by setting up our discounts in this window, we don't have to worry about that extra step of entering it. It'll carry through from this setup. Let's take a second to talk about the different columns that we have in this setup. We'll start here with the minimum amount. Here you can enter the minimum amount that the invoice must total for the invoice discount to be granted or the service charge levied. The discount percent is where you enter the percentage the customer will receive by buying for at least the minimum amount, which is displayed in our minimum amount field. So in our case here, our minimum amount is 0. So any transaction that we process that's over 0 gets a 100% discount. And in our next field, the service charge field, this is where you enter the amount of the service charge that the customer will have to pay on a purchase of at least the minimum amount. And you can find the minimum amount again from the minimum amount field. In our case, we're setting up our 100% discount. And when I escape out of here, the next setup that I want to take a look at is on our invoicing tab. We'll start first with our general business posting group. Based on the matrix of our general business posting group and what we're selling on the lines, our product posting group, the system decides what accounts to post our transactions to. And we'll take a look at this setup once we move over to the service setup. Down here we also have our customer posting group, and our customer posting group is usually our balance sheet impact. If I drill into here, you'll see that for our balance sheet, if we do select our internal rentals customer, it's looking to post our receivables to this 11,190 account. Again, because our invoice discount is 100%, our receivable will be posted for 0, but it still looks to this table to decide where it should post. Now that we've taken a look at that, we'll move over one card to the left and we'll take a look at our sales customer card. It's set up similar to our rentals customer card, except in this case, our general business posting group is our internal sales, and we'll take a look at that in a moment in our service posting setup. This customer would be used for any sales work that we perform for our sales department. I'll escape out of here, and we'll go down to our setup and take a look at a few of the setups in this area. We'll start first with the service posting setup. I'll adjust my screens here so that we can take a good look at it. And in our service posting setup, you'll see that based on our general business posting group and our product posting group, the system decides where it's going to post various transactions. In our case, for the internal customer, we would want to know, in addition to the service accounts or any credit memo accounts, we'd also want to know where the service invoice discount amount is going to post. In this area is where we can set that up so that when we do post any service orders or service invoices, the system will look to the service posting setup, and again, based on our combination of business posting group and product posting group, the system will decide where to post. I'm going to escape out of our posting setup and take a look at our service management setup. And in this window, we have a few fields that we need to account for in order to process our internal customer correctly. The first ones are down here to the right, our internal customer number and our internal sales customer number. And when I drill into here, I can go ahead and specify my internal customer for rentals and also my internal customer for sales, and those have been specified already. These fields are important for two reasons. The first is you have the ability to create a service item right from a fixed asset card. When you go to create that service item and you run that function, the system will ask you if it's an internal rental customer or an internal sales customer, and it will pull based off of whatever one you choose. It'll pull the information from this area here based on the number you specify here. The other reason that it's important is when you create a purchase order for a fixed asset and you have a check mark here like we do in the create service item on purchase, the system will look to this table, and based on the internal customer or the sales customer, the system will look to this table and pull in the appropriate customer information. Now that we've gone over the important setups, and if we were to post a transaction right now, it would be posted at a $0 receivable based on the setups that we just went through. We also have the ability to set up special pricing on our resource cards and our items for our internal customer. We'll start first with the resource card. I'm going to come down here to our resource planning and pull up a resource card for John Boyd. Under the prices area, I have the options of costs and prices. Let's take a look at costs first. In this table, I have the ability to set up different costs based on my different work types. It looks like here we have one set up if we were to perform regular work for John Boyd, but we will also have one set up if we were to perform internal work. By selecting this on any type of transaction, whether it be an order or an invoice, the system will look to this table and pull in this correct amount. It's just another nice way to not have to worry about entering in this information. I'm going to escape out of here, and if we go back down to our prices button, we'll take a look at our prices. And in this area, I have the same ability like I did in my costs, except it's for my prices now. It looks like for our regular work, we're charging $55, but for our internal work, we're going to post and charge $30. And again, by selecting John on an invoice or an order, the system will look to this table and based on my work type, pull in the correct price. We also have the ability to set it up on items, and we'll take a look at that right now. If I go to purchase and then I go to planning, I can pull up an item card from there. And we'll take a look here at our bracket. If we go down to our sales and go to prices, here for our internal customer, we've set up a minimum quantity of one and a special price for them. So when I select this item on any of my orders or invoices, it'll pull in my special internal price for this bracket. In today's video, we've gone over the appropriate setups that you'll need in order to have your internal customers set up correctly so that the service department does receive credit for the work performed. This concludes the video on the internal rental and sales customer. Please be sure to watch all videos in the RMI Advantage video training series to make your job easier. Thank you and have a great day.